Alrighty, good morning from Paradise Surfers. It's another beautiful day in paradise. The markets are correcting a little bit. Crypto Twitter's losing its collective mind. Oh no! The bull market's done. Sell everything. Hide for 2 years. Get a grip, folks. We're completely good. We're completely good. We are here at Crypto Paradise to give you the news, the analysis, that long term mindset that's going to result in your financial success. So stay tuned, watch the channel, watch the full show. We're covering a lot of good stories today. We got, of course, our lead story around whether this little correction is the end of the bull run or whether it's just a little correction. We're going to be talking Ripple, XRP. Why do people keep buying that garbage? We got a lot of other stories to cover as well. So happy to be joined with Web3 Nate, Crypto Hitman. I think it's grabbing a coffee here, but let's kick this off. So I know Nate, you're in some trading groups. You're in the trenches, right? So we obviously had that euphoric little run, let's say pretty big run
Say
on Bitcoin and ETH. Everyone's happy. Everyone, we're getting rich forever. Now 5% correction. Now we're poor forever. What's the sentiment that you're gauging there in the trenches and in those groups?
Yeah, I think people are just like damaged, beaten down, a little PTSD going on. This bear market was particularly brutal and long. Well, it wasn't, and it was like we got so used to this model of this 4-year cycle where we get the halving, and then Bitcoin pumps, and then the alts run up, and then it rolls into the mid caps and the micro caps, and then Bitcoin pumps again. You just get this nice clean cycle that everybody could follow. Everybody was happy in their groove, and then this cycle came along, and then Bitcoin pump before the halving, and we've got like all this institutional adoption coming in, and then Bitcoin's ripping by itself and alts are doing nothing, and then we get memes that come in and suck up literally hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in liquidity, and we all that craziness and nonsense that went on there, and alts continue to do nothing, and pre-sales stop being a thing that have been kind of a hallmark of the bull market in the past. Is like people come in here like, I want those 100x's. IDOs and pre-sales is where you went to get those 100x's, and those are gone. And so like people have it's felt like an extended bear market, even though Bitcoin is gone, in the last year and a half since January 23 when it bottomed at 15.5K. We're almost 10x on Bitcoin since then. That's not a bear market. That's a freaking bull market of bull markets. But for everybody that's not a Bitcoin maxi, it's felt a bit like a bear market because it's just been like beaten down after, every time you think you got a new trend, a new something going on, it's either a super short-lived mini bull run niche down within the AI or the whatever, trend is popping. But alts as a whole until, a month ago haven't done anything. So it's felt like a really long and brutal bear market. So now that we are seeing alts pump, I think people are just gun shy. They're worried that this is another fake out. They're still in that, we look at that chart of stuff, they're in a bit of a disbelief phase right now. They can't believe it's really happening. They can't believe the pump's back on. They can't really believe that ETH is going to make new all-time highs soon. So they're fading things, at the first sign of any sort of weakness or slowdown in the market, which let's be real, in less than a month, Ethereum just shy of 2x. I think it went up 95% or 90% in like 3.5 weeks. Bitcoin went up almost 30% in a month, right? That's insane. Of course, the market needs to chill out for a minute. We just got done with 4 weeks of nonstop God candles, and the amount of like FUD and like bearish sentiment I've seen on Telegram and on crypto Twitter in the last couple of days, like it's had me laughing. I don't know what your guys' takes on it,
I
but
know,
like,
Nate, but I'm only happy if my portfolio is going up 5% a day. Don't you know that? Otherwise, I wanted to slit my wrists.
I guess, man. I don't know what for the
I'm just playing
people.
around, guys. I think it's
Yeah,
ridiculous. I do want to get Hitman's take on this too. I mean, this bear market PTSD. This, it's alt season's canceled. That's the lead story, by the way, on CoinDesk today. Is alt season postponed or whatever? And I just think it's a bunch of nonsense. So what's your take, bud?
Yeah, this isn't a dip happening in October, November, December, and then people have a 50-50 chance of being right. Historically, that could be the top, or, we're right and you go into 2026. No, this is July. Normally, summer is awfully slow with some minor green uptrend, and so far it has been absolutely explosive. It just came out in the news 2 days ago. SharpLink Gaming passed back up. Bitminer has 360,000 ETH. Well, Thomas Lee must not have liked that because they just bought another 200,000 ETH on the dip, and they have over 566,000 ETH. And now they're quoting they don't want 1 million Ethereum, they want 2 million Ethereum by the end all be all. So I just don't know how you think it's over. If you believe in the 4-year halving cycle, this isn't the time that this could be the top. If you believe in the super cycle, this isn't the time this couldn't be the top. If you look at what happened with Bitcoin ETF and strategic reserve adoptions, and now you're seeing that speculating what's going to happen with Ethereum, this isn't the time, it's not the top. So I just don't know why there's so much fear. Everybody wants to trade every 10% move. Look, in the glory days, I'll act like we're like old men now because we've been here. In 2017 rally, the reason it was such a perfect parabola up and so many things did so well is because the mindset was different. We were all here for life-changing gains, not 20% pat yourself on the back and clout on Twitter gains, okay? In 2021, it took a while, but eventually we got to wanting financial freedom and the next tech innovation. And then you had NFTs and all these new things coming out. And people were holding and believing in those. And people still have PFPs that were worth $500,000 5 years ago and are worth $5,000 now, okay? Nowadays, this cycle, it's like, oh my gosh, I got this pump fund $5,000 market cap, but then it update DEX tools within 7 minutes, so I'm selling for a 2x. Well, that's why we're seeing this type of reaction. These people aren't getting their dopamine hits. And, fortunately, it seems like the market isn't going to care because institutions are going to pump Ethereum, and Ethereum speculation is going to pump altcoins. We just saw a massive rally. And for those of you saying, oh, it's over, it's like, guys, Floki went up like 132% in the past month, and now it's down 7. What do you want, So I think everything is looking on track. You see this massive consolidation here in Bitcoin. You hear a lot of people like Novogratz and stuff. Now they're saying the prediction for Bitcoin is 130 to 150,000. I think they're a bunch of pussies, but this is where they're getting it from. That would be just for this next move. The consolidation here, if you do a measured move of this flagpole to here, puts you at like $134,000. If they're right and 150,000 is the top on Bitcoin, well, this is going to be a pretty slow end of the year run for Bitcoin. Ethereum is going to catch up on the dominance chart in a big way, and alt seasons will melt your face. So this is what they're seeing. Consolidation move to 134,000. So let's look at Ethereum's chart here. Ethereum, what do you know? Yesterday we were talking in the dip saying we were down 5%. I could see it going down as low as a 10% dip. Look at the wick overnight. That would have put you at an 8.75% dip as we continue to consolidate. At the last target, we did a 5% dip and a 5-day consolidation. So far, we've done an 8.75% dip, and we're on like day 6. Maybe a 10% dip, 10% consolidation, 10-day consolidation. We'll see what happens, but nonetheless, objectives are higher. You just saw BMNR buy another 266,000 ETH. SBET is going to be following soon. They both have targets to get over 100 million ETH, or over a million ETH. I don't understand how you think alt season is over. And another proxy for alt season is Pulse Chain. We've been following this cup and handle. It's up like 130% off the low here. Gave you this cup and handle idea at the exact low. If you watch, you're already up something like 40%. But, I mean, this is just textbook. Breakout on volume, retest. Now it's going to head for this green line, come back to here, and then it's going to explode up to here. And if that's happening, that means Ethereum is at least staying sideways, and various layer 1s and layer 2s and altcoins are ripping. So I am not in the camp that alt season is over. I made this post here with this video. It's pretty funny.
A soundbar now.
Yes, we do.
No, we got a live audience. As a matter
it's
of
by
fact,
the dip
live
season.
Audience approves of Nick's take there because our audience is bullish on Pulse Chain. We know that. Bullish on ETH. But what were you going to say there, bud?
I was saying I did this tweet about an hour ago, and it's by the dip season. Look, they're all depressed. The red's coming. Nope. Zoom out. By the dip season, and we're going to continue on.
That is
for the
a
next
dope
foreseeable
graphic,
future.
and that is the title of our little show today. We are buying the dip. We are not bought into this notion of, bear market is today, bear market's coming, it's all over. Look, you got to control your emotions, guys. You can't let the candles, red or green, dictate how you're feeling any given day. Were you planning on selling today? Was that your strategy? If yes, then okay, sure, I guess you can feel a little shitty for yourself. But if your plan was like our plan, which is to look towards the end of the year, perhaps even beginning of 2026 to start taking profits, Well, then what the hell's the problem? July has been unbelievable. Explosive, I think, was the word the Hitman used, and it's absolutely true. Explosive, 100% gains on ETH. Alts are up big. Bitcoin's at $120,000. Everyone needs to calm down. Look, if you're in the wrong coins, okay, sucks for you, but my guess is they will pump too at some point. If you're in the right coins, working hard, good team, good narrative, good tech, if it's a utility play, utility for the coin, etc., then its time is going to come. So just be patient. I don't know what everyone's freaking out about. It's this market's still full of babies. We've been here for how many years? 10 years now, where retail's been in crypto, and it's like they never change. Retail never changes. It's the same story every time. I do feel thankful though that the market seems to be slowly being overtaken by actual sophisticated institutional investors. They're buying 1 million ETH, another million ETH, another million, so billions. They're going to hold billions of this stuff, and they're not Jeets. They're not worried about 5% corrections during bull runs. They're long-term investors. So I actually think everyone who's like, "Oh, it's bad, the institutions are coming," no, it's actually kind of good. It's actually kind of good because these retail people, man, they got to get control of their emotions and stop letting the charts and the candles, red or green, dictate how they feel that particular day. So, yeah, we're going to be completely fine. The institutions are here. Don't worry about these Jeets. We're going to make it. And I'm not technically, full disclosure, buying the dip because I've already bought all the dips. So I'm fully in the market. I think I have a couple $1,000s of stable coins. The rest of my portfolio, it is all in the markets, guys. All in the markets, because end of this year, everything will be much, much higher, and we'll be laughing, and we will be literally sitting on the beach.
And yeah, this is another thing that we predicted. We said with this Ethereum strategic reserve, they would rule the market narrative, and eventually Ethereum would start outpacing the Bitcoin ETFs. Yesterday I mentioned it, but I wasn't sure on the data. Well, this data just popped up. The past 5 days, Ethereum ETF inflows is far outpacing Bitcoin ETF inflows. This is why you have a consolidation in Bitcoin, and Ethereum is going to continue to outperform. Ethereum is the next target for Ethereum outperformance of Bitcoin, and it's still minuscule on the map, is like a 20% rally from here. So that means if Bitcoin goes up 10%, that means Ethereum is going to go up 30%. So keep that in mind. ETF inflows is telling you where the money is going. These aren't all institutional investors either. People are like, BlackRock owns, oh my gosh, all this. No, it doesn't. It owns on behalf of its clients, retail investors that have traditional finance money in there. Their financial advisors telling them to get exposure to the Bitcoin ETF, telling them to get exposure to the ETF. People on Charles Schwab or Fidelity buying the ETF themselves because they don't understand or want to figure out Coinbase or MetaMask. These are retail people, just traditional finance people getting into the markets when you're looking at the ETF inflows. And these are people who have long-term mindsets for ETFs. They're not looking to flip these for 5% gains like all the degens on Twitter. So this is good to see. This continues to point to our thesis that the Ethereum strategic reserve narrative is going to rule the market for the foreseeable future and will spur and continue the alt season that we've all been waiting for.
The audience approves.
Nate's caught off guard. He was sleeping yesterday through the last live show. He's like, what is this?
They're loving it. Oh, man.
Yeah, you pull up that data, which I think is very important to point out here. I can't wait for within let's say 3 to 6 months, everyone started talking about the flippening. Remember that narrative that happened when ETH is like massively outperforming Bitcoin. ETH's at 10K, Bitcoin's like languishing. Like, okay, here it comes. ETH's gonna flip Bitcoin's market cap. Never happens. But that's the direction this is all going. That's where we're going to be in 3 to 6 months' time from now. So just hold on to your hats. Be patient. We're all going to make it. It's all going to be fine. Unless you are that asshole that has been investing in XRP instead of Ethereum and instead of some of these low-cap gems that are out there, giving us 10 or 20x gains. You are investing in a shitcoin whose founders own billions, 8.6 billion maybe someone can pull up the article that we found, but the founder, one of the founders, Chris Larson of XRP, and they've been known to do this pretty much every run, right? has been dumping on your heads, massive bags, and he still has 8.6 billion of XRP left. I don't get the folks who are enamored with XRP. I mean, granted, when I was first sort of initiated into crypto, it was one of the narratives that they push on you. Oh, it's the coin that's going to traditional finance is going to adopt it, right?
That
Traditional
was
finance
also
is going to
in
use it for a payment
Banker
rail or
coin.
whatever. That
yeah,
never
that was
really
also back in the
materialized, and it
day.
turns out now traditional finance is building their stablecoins on ETH. So remind me what the point of the coin is, and then remind me why you keep investing in this garbage when the founders keep dumping on your heads.
What I will say about XRP is they've done a miraculous job at marketing, staying relevant, and somehow getting the retail blue collar worker. Like whenever there's a blue collar worker, I still play soccer on Tuesdays. I still play golf on Mondays. I still golf on the like. Whenever a blue collar worker, or any of my buddies, the first thing they ask about is XRP. I'm gonna get some crypto. Should I get XRP or what should I get? It's like I don't understand how they have tapped into that part of society so heavily, especially like yes, their price performance sucked the past 5 years minus this pump, but now they have the pump. So it's like, I'm surprised they've even stayed relevant here because it has been proven that this individual right here and his children and other employees on Ripple staff have algorithmic bots set up that are programmed to dump a specific amount of XRP each and every day, each and every week, each and every month. And they've been doing that since 2017. So that's what's impressive. Like they have been able to stay in the mind share, still get people wanting to buy this, still believing it's going to 10,000 a token, and really even maintaining any kind of price performance while they've been algorithmically dumping on your head for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years now, each and every day. The whole family is laughing all the way to the bank. And then you're telling me they still have $8 billion in tokens after all these years of dumping on you?
Yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
an article says it right there. Zach XBT. By the way, I'm not the one who came up with a quote of why do you keep buying this dog shit. Zach XBT, who is the preeminent blockchain sleuth in crypto, is the one who said that. So I'm just parroting him. I agree with him, by the way. But you can read that article, right? I mean, it says 8.6 billion. I think between him, Chris Larson, and Jed, whatever his name is, the other founder, they all have it. Yeah, I don't get
Hit max
the
on that
appeal,
chart, Nate.
man. But even after this pump, it's still massively underperformed Bitcoin over the past 5-7 years. Massively,
Yeah,
right?
this is essentially getting to the all-time highs from the 2017 cycle. So that's why a lot of people in 2017 were really into this. Like we were talking about this at a penny, and we traded it and we sold it at like $2.50. Like right now is just now getting to the all-time highs from 2017. Which so if you've been here for a while, that's why people also talk shit on the performance because you had from the 2018 dip all the way till January when this thing finally pumped of absolutely nothing, just a big consolidation range while entire cycles happen between then and narrative shift.
It's the new it's the new boomer coin, right? Like it's kind of what like Cardano was for a while. And again, give them props. Like both of these
That's what I'm
chains,
saying. I don't know.
marketing, they are nailing marketing, right? Perception is reality. If you paint the right picture, you build these diehard communities. There's all sorts of great memes about XRP out there right now about cab drivers and stuff with XRP pumping. With the Uber drivers and whatnot. But we saw the same thing with Cardano before, and Cardano's still around. Cardano's still one of the top coins, and it's purely based on marketing. Like, they haven't really done anything of substance. They don't really have network activity and projects building there. It's not like Ethereum or BNB or some of those chains that actually have projects building and innovation happening. Like, there's nothing going on there. But with an XRP, the thing that always cracks me up, and again, just shows how well they've painted this image and this idea for their their community, their followers. You always see people tweeting about like XRP to $1,000 or XRP to $10,000. Like, I mean, do you understand how that math works on that? Like, this is already
It's gonna be the most valuable asset in the world times 100. Like at that.
yeah. It's like it'd have the market cap of like 2x gold or like 10x gold if it went to $10,000. It's insane. It's at $3 right now. Like that's a 3,000x.
Well, that's part of its appeal, right? Like people are like, oh, it's cheap. If it gets to Bitcoin's level, then I'll be so rich. They don't understand the interplay of market. What's the market cap, total supply versus circulating supply times price, blah blah blah. They don't get all that. So it is what it is. Yes, you could say again props. I think a lot of it is just kind of inertia. It's kind of like once you're a market leader, and these guys look, they launched around the time, well, what in 2016, 2017, well, maybe around the time Ethereum came out, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even earlier. So they were, a first mover, right? They've had that narrative that I think has resonated. Like for those who don't really get crypto, XRP is almost that gateway. It's like this is the crypto for Wall Street or something like that. That was what they sold me on back when I first got into the space. So I think that's kind of narrative resonant. And then yeah, what you said about it's token economics make it appear that as if it hits Bitcoin's levels, you'll become a trillionaire. So I don't know. I just hope people stop buying it. Maybe people watch this show. If you're buying it, just sell that shit. Sell it for ETH. Sell it for something real. Sell it for something that people actually are using and building on. BNB. Wow, what a great example. Imagine you've been holding BNB compared to if you were holding XRP. Wow, well, your life would really be changed. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. That
that's my
story popped up, and I was like, we got to talk some shit about XRP today.
that's my biggest thing with XRP too. It's not that hey, you're not going to find gains in it because it's proven that it's going to have some gains. They also do their conference in November. Normally every year, like since 2017, we don't touch or talk about XRP except for around their conference. We buy it right before the conference, and then historically you're able to sell it for 10 to 25% higher during that conference, and it kind of feels good to dump on the heads of the XRP believers because they're so loud in your comment section. But I just don't understand. Like if you want to own XRP, just like you said, buy BNB or buy Ethereum. They probably perform the same, and you'll feel a lot better about it. I just can't get myself because I understand that I don't believe in the vision. I can't get myself to want to trade or support the founders that have literally been algorithmic selling on your head for 5, 6, 7 years and still have $8 billion in value and are going to talk to you tongue in cheek because they want to cash out this $8 billion over the next decade based on their trading bot. So I just can't get myself to want to do that.
Insert the ETH Foundation with the awkward bear looking around meme.
Right, that's true too. That is true. But now Ethereum Foundation
to be selling tokens or foundation
at least the
or whatever.
Ethereum, at least the Ethereum Foundation
in the stock market. Who do you think owns all the Amazon stock? Jeff Bezos. I think he bought all those yachts, sold the stock. So I mean, it's not an unheard of thing. It's just for me, like XRP has no real use case. I don't think the blockchain gets any usage. I don't think the token has any purpose. So it's like, why do you even exist? I mean, maybe someone who's more educated can come on and explain to me who's using this coin, what utility it has, what the network figures look like in terms of transactions and so on and so forth. My understanding is, it's basically does nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm we know my stance on Ethereum. It is what it is, but I think there is a difference between a foundation selling to support the ecosystem, which you have to do some. I haven't been a big fan of what they're doing, and the private individual selling for their own personal profit. Which again, you're gonna make profits. You need to take profits. Totally get that. I'm a capitalist through and through. But when you're out there, talking out both sides of your mouth, saying, "Oh yeah, buy token's gonna pump," and you're dumping literally billions of dollars onto the heads of the people you're telling to buy as an individual.
Surprised there hasn't been lawsuits yet, actually, frankly, because that's the kind of stuff that if that were a security as such, there would be shareholder lawsuits. My guess is what would happen because I don't know if the founders have disclosed what they're doing, right?
But
I think blockchain sleuths figured it out.
They beat the case against the SEC, though.
But in any event, yeah, I do think. Look, Ethereum Foundation selling to do meaningful upgrades on the network to pay their thousands of devs that are working on Ethereum. That is very different than a singular founder selling billions to buy yachts and villas.
Yeah, I mean,
and talking about founders selling, here's a founder who isn't selling. BNB approaching $800. CZ continues to have a massive stake in BNB. We talked about it yesterday, and doesn't have to sell. He uses the passive income that he earns from the BNB, whether it's airdrops on Binance Chain, staking rewards, everything else. He's probably raking in millions of dollars due to how large his BNB position is. And we're down there when it looks like blips down there. That's when we were buying in anticipation of the BSC launch. And we're hoping to repeat that kind of success with the Pulse Chain prediction that we have going on. If you look at 2018 to 2020, and then you pull up the Pulse Chain chart, that looks pretty similar. You had green candles at launch, new lows. Then you had a little bit of a rally, and then you had higher lows. And then all of a sudden, before people even realize what's going on, you have absolute explosion. And that's a lot of what's happened with Pulse Chain as it launched in the bear market. had the green wick, went to new lows. It had about a 5x off the low, and now it's putting in higher lows with that cup and handle. And I think if Interpol case gets closed, Ethereum goes above 5,000, Richard Hart comes back, you're going to see those God candles there that you just never come back around, and you have a cycle leader here. So I like what I see at BNB. I'm trying to take the knowledge we have of history of BNB and apply it to what could be next. And I think Pulse Chain is that mover. Not Sonic, not Base Chain, not Arbitrum, not Polygon. I think it's going to be Pulse Chain.
I mean,
Pulse Chain crowd approves.
We chose to launch the Surf token there for a reason, you know. We like what we saw there, like all the upside potential, and really the community too. Like that's something I've learned, you know, since we've launched over there is like even the top projects out there. You know, PTGC is what 180, almost $200 million market cap. Like they're cool to like just jump on our stream with us. Like let's do some collabs with our audiences. Like you don't have that as much with, you know, Ethereum or certainly not Solana. Solana's just pure cutthroat. You know, but the Pulse Chain community is really welcoming. A lot of great devs in there, a lot of great OGs in there, and just, you know, some really cool communities. Everybody's trying to help each other out, trying to help each other grow their bags, trying to, you know, help the communities grow, help evangelize more people to get over into the ecosystem, building more tech. And there is a lot of tech building there right now. I know we've been posting quite a bit about it in the last, really last 2 weeks here. DeFi's blowing up over there. Yield farming's blowing up over there. We've been having some fun with Vox, with Emit Farms, with RhinoFi. We just announced Vox just launched some great new Surf LP pools and some staking that you can earn some rewards. So like tons of stuff going on in the DeFi space on Pulse Chain. And you mentioned BNB earlier. Well, when I really started to get full-time into crypto was early 2021. That's the days when BSC was blowing up with all the yield farming craze. And there was like 20 new dexes coming up every single day. This is starting to remind me of that. Not that there's a million new dexes popping up, but seeing this like DeFi and yield farming taking off on Pulse Chain is giving me like, you know, early 2021 DeFi BSC vibes when BNB chain was really starting to take a hold in the last bull market.
Oh, Nick, you're muted, my friend.
You're muted, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing there and what we're banking on. We're in when everything is blossoming, and it's kind of interesting is it almost gives you a head start because you said you have that recollection, and you see how things were built out on BSC. Pulse Chain is kind of following that same timeline. Like first you have a couple dexes, then you have your winner, then you have some DeFi yield opportunities, and then you have your winners. Then you have some meme coins pop up, and those are going to become the network leaders that live on for cycle after cycle. And we're able to position ourselves in these and get ahead of the curve because we've kind of had that history to reflect on as we've seen it, you know, other chains from their beginning. So that's you know why we're excited, and also why we're saying alt season's not dead is look at this off the low. PTGC's up 217% off the low. We called Emit Farms at 49 cents. It's over $1. We called Vox at 2 cents. It's like 7 cents right now. You know, Surf is working on this rounded bottom. Finally green today. Shook out a lot of whales. Still up 8,000% since launch. But it has this falling wedge, which could be bullish if we hold these levels. You get this rounded bottom we've been talking about. You break out above this downtrend line. You retest it and you can explode. And we're seeing other green in the market while the rest of the market's pretty red. 11% up on RhinoFi, 4% on PTGC, 15% on Teddy, Top Hat up 2.5%. These are all kind of Pulse Chain assets as Pulse Chain is, you know, trying to fight against the current here, up green while Ethereum is floundering. So what happens if Ethereum goes ahead and does another green candle, you know, consolidates here and starts heading towards 4,000? Pulse Chain is probably a major beneficiary, and our thesis is right all along.
What we really need is Richard Hart to deploy that 800 million. How much does he have personally? 800 million, I think, on his own personal ETH bags, and then how much in the sacrifice wallet, which I guess is kind of like a decentralized DAO wallet or something like that. I don't really know. The SAC wallet. I don't know who controls it, but it doesn't matter. The point is, deploy the damn funds, man. You want this thing to run? You want to be the next BNB? You're going to have to put some economic energy behind it, and I think that he will. I think that he absolutely will. I think he's waiting for the time to be right. I think he's waiting for this Interpol case to be resolved. I think he's waiting for ETH to run a little bit more here. I'd be very surprised if, at least as to his personal money, I don't know about the SAC funds, what it can be used for exactly. Maybe, Nick, you know those details better. But the personal money, he has like, what, 700 million or 800 million in ETH? Like, bro,
Apparently,
it's going to be
apparently he's a
soon time to pump your
multi-billionaire.
own chain. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, I think he's just waiting for the Interpol case. Of course, he beat the SEC, which is very rare. And then I think he's waiting for Ethereum to get over 5,000. That's what I think he's doing here. And you see the Pulse Chain Sacrifice Wallet, 166,000 ETH, currently worth 605 million. If ETH goes to 5,000, this would be over $1 billion sitting in this Pulse Chain Sacrifice Wallet, not to count his own personal wallets either. And then, what's interesting here is this Ether machine just exploded onto the scene, 170,000 ETH. They haven't updated Bitmine here. They have 566,000 ETH. And the foundation continues, like we were talking about, continues to go down 8% in the past 30 days, selling some of their Ethereum OTC to SharpLink Gaming to pay for their next upgrades. And I do think they are doing upgrades because they are doing that, but I think some of these devs are probably a little overpaid for the output that they've actually done over the past few years.
Yeah, probably. I don't really give a shit though how much they sell as long as they pump our bags. And they are, by the way, working on more upgrades now. The upgrade that just happened like a few months ago was a meaningful upgrade. They're working on another one that I think is supposed to go out in November or December of this year. So I mean, one of their things recently has been like, we need to increase our output. So I guess they watched the show and heard your complaints. But it is what it is. I do think
that's exactly what it was.
Pulse Chain's got to deploy some of that Ethereum into Pulse Chain, right? Bridge that shit over. Like, let's go, man.
Yeah, and with this Ethereum too, people are like, nobody really knows what, how, where it could be used, because remember, Pulse Chain, the reason they were able to beat the SEC is it wasn't a pre-sale investment, a VC investment. It literally was a sacrifice. It was a donation of your funds to a cause with no expectations of results. Meaning, you could have sent your money to that wallet, and Pulse Chain didn't even have to ever exist legally, based on the disclosures. That's how they beat the SEC. So where did this go? People assume Richard Hart has access to this wallet. Why hasn't it moved? Don't know. I always said, man, I wish this was staking. This would be earning 300 ETH per month. Well, then you have some systematic risk there because you're trusting third parties, which Richard Hart has preached against very much, which would lead you to believe, okay, Richard Hart controls this wallet. And then people are like, well, when did it buy Ethereum? It bought Ethereum right around these levels. It probably doesn't want to rotate now. It probably wants to rotate when it's actually up in the green, because then it can brag about, hey, not only did I take your sacrifice funds, I added 30% of value to it by trading into Ethereum and supporting Ethereum, and now we can bring it to Pulse Chain, or we can earn yield on it, or we can take loans against it. So many options. Nobody knows what's going to happen with that. All I can say is this wallet has shown in the past it has moved some money over to Pulse Chain, and when that happened, Pulse Chain did a 3x with very little amount of money moving over there. So there is the feasibility and the speculation that will turn on as Ethereum goes up.
If he moved one ETH from that wallet into Pulse Chain, we're doing like a 5x overnight, because the speculation will be that the rest is coming. Not that he would move just one ETH over there, but yeah, it doesn't take a lot to cause that speculation. Oh shit, a massive wave of ETH is being bridged over to Pulse Chain, and our bags are going to pump, and then the whole market.
Yeah, and the way the liquidity structure there and how thin it is. If about a month ago, he purposely cut the admission rates, meaning the amount of money that you can earn via PulseX, cut it down to near zero, which is why some of these DeFi platforms are doing so well. What did that do? That disincentivized people to provide liquidity on these tokens. Why would you do that? With thinner liquidity, it is easier to pump the chain. With the current liquidity on network, if $5 million came into Pulse Chain and hit the market buy, the thing does like a 3x. That is not a lot of money when you have 605 million sitting here. Imagine if 605 came over. That's the speculation. Now, that's not all going to come over at once, but that's just the numbers you have to play with, and why we believe, hey, if a couple dominoes fall right, Pulse Chain will absolutely melt faces and be the number one performing layer one, and we're in it when nobody else knows about it. Surf tokens on it, buying up liquidity, adding the liquidity at these levels. So when that happens, you're going to ride that wave of green candles, and we're excited for the future and excited for that speculation. Is it a guarantee? No, nothing's a guarantee in life. But if you're not taking big risks, you can't expect big rewards.
Death and taxes. Other than that, no guarantees. But maybe this is a good opportunity to segue over to some surf-specific topics, right? Because we've had a number of tremendous calls we've made to the Surf DAO group. A couple of meme plays, a couple of like kind of movement, we call them movement coins, where it's not necessarily a character-based meme. It's rather like a message or a movement or an inspirational sort of quote or vibe. Those coins have been doing very well recently. We've called a few that have actually absolutely sent. So yeah, you got Substance pulled up right here. And man, I'm so bullish on this one. I love the founder. He pops into our private group chat with him. He's like, "Yo, boys, like we're gonna fucking send this thing." And I'm like, "Let's go, dude!" Like I actually think he knows what he's doing too, which is great. A lot of these meme founders don't know what they're doing, but this guy really does. So love that dude. But yeah, called that at what, $100,000 market cap to the DAO members, and it ran to what was it, 1.2 mil? Maybe you can. Oh
Nah,
shit!
it
Look at
ran
that
all the
wick up
way
there.
almost to 1.5. It's a 1.46.
I
So
must have missed that 1.5 move, that little wick. Holy smokes.
yeah,
But nice little
it's
consolidation here while the rest of the market is also consolidating. And it's funny, you see the same panic nonsense in these channel, in the community channels as you see in the private groups. Oh, we're down. Why price go down? Dude, we just did 10x in like 5 days. Like, of course the price is going to go down when people take profits after having done 10 times in 5 days. So I don't quite get these folks sometimes in the channels, but anyway, Substance is
what's
an absolute runner, absolute mooner, and get your 200,000 surf tokens to find out what the next mooner is.
Yeah, I mean these guys have everything you're looking for when it comes to a meme coin, and they are a pure meme play. But they've got a team that's experienced. They've done this before. They have very what are the memality of it. They've got some really cool videos, cool animations that they put out. A really cool kind of like ethos with it's the kind of like the limitless drug of crypto kind of vibes. And they do some really cool stuff with AI here. Again, when you're hunting for these memes in the trenches, like it's all about the team and the community. These guys have again experience proven team, very memeable and something kind of that people can get behind and make memes and share them with each other and talk about it and have slang that comes up with their own lingo and such. And that's what you're seeing here. It didn't
And from
take
a
too long.
I was just going to say, from a TA perspective, you can see how it kind of rips, consolidates, and this recent rip and consolidation is going to end up looking like those previous ones where it could potentially become a blip. And why do I say that it looks like sellers are getting exhausted? If you look at those volume candles there, even though price is going down and general market is going down, the volume continues to decrease. When you see red candles on decreasing volume, that means that sellers are getting exhausted. And if buyers step in for any reason, whether it's just traders on their own, whether the project starts a marketing campaign, releases new utilities, new updates, that's when you see the next move higher. There is no more tokens to be sold. Everybody who wanted to sell is exhausted at those levels and is unwilling to sell their tokens unless price goes up. And that's what you're seeing on that chart. You're not seeing increasing volume while price is selling off. That's where you want to get scared. That's where bears are in control of the market. When you see this decreasing volume while price is going down and general market is going down, sellers exhausted, buyers are about to step in. As long as the founder does something, and Ian kind of leaked a little something there saying, oh, the founder comes in, hey boys, we're going to send this. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit of alpha you should take advantage of, and maybe you should be looking to buy the dip here somewhere on Dose in the coming days.
Well, this under. I mean, the
Sorry
big
to
story
cut you
here.
off there, buddy.
No worries.
It's too perfect.
Yeah, I mean less than a million market cap. We know when the tokens are running, whether it's meme coins and the overall market, which are in, we all believe we're in a legit into the bull market now. A million market cap, less than a million market cap is absolutely nothing, right? This could easily do another 10, 20x. So for people that are like, oh, I missed the pump to 1.5 million and no point in buying it now, like you're crazy, bro. Like you got an opportunity to buy here. If this is the kind of thing you're into, if you like memes, this is what you're looking for in the trenches, is something that has this kind of potential. Obviously, never given financial advice here, but that's our job, is to go out and hunt and find that alpha for you. This one has all the makings of a beautiful meme coin.
Yeah, let's look at another one. If you want to pull up the fuck 9 to 5 chart, that thing was absolutely been sending. This is one we got involved with, since you don't have an error there. We got involved around May 5th at 300K market cap. So, this is kind of like, Dose here is at 600,000. We're saying, hey, you might want to buy dips somewhere around here. Maybe that's 500,000. Maybe the dip's already in. And you're like, oh, I missed out on it. Well, zoom out on fuck 9 to 5. We didn't even get involved with this one until 300K market cap. And now we're up something like 16 and 17x. So, yeah. So it's like, at 300,000 when we were calling that. Some people are like, oh, it's already worth 300,000. It's like, guys, if this is a true movement coin, this is going to millions. And we just saw us wick to like $8 million market cap, sitting here at $5.5 million market cap and holding levels. And if you tuned into the private video that I released, I said this was going to happen. At the lows, I said they're going to try to send this thing so it makes that entire consolidation the new floor. And what do you know? We went to $8 million market cap. I said we were going to go to $8 to $10 million market cap. And I said we're going to consolidate above that consolidation range, above 4 million, make that a new floor, and then you're going to go up and do it again. So I expect this thing to go sideways here the next few days, let it digest, and then the team's going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to find the next group of people that want to hop on the fuck 9 to 5 train and make this a new consolidation, explode above $10 million market cap and beyond. That's just what's going to happen.
Give it up for fuck 9 to 5. Let's give it up for fuck 9 to 5. No, seriously, those guys are awesome. That team is great. I mean, look, it's hard, especially when they're still on the trenches, to find legit memes. 99 out of 100 are designed to be scams to steal your money as quickly as possible. So when you find ones that are like, hey, we're actually looking to grow this to, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 million over the course of many months, that's something I think you need to gravitate to. That's something you need to pay attention to. They're very rare. They're hard to find, those gems. Let's call them what they are, right? When you're in a sea of shit, when you're in a sea of scams, they're looking to take your money in less than 24 hours, and you find a team that's saying, hey, no, actually, we're going to work hard on this for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, whatever it is. We're just going to keep working on it. That's the ones you want to find and hang on to. Look, it's not easy, right? It's not easy to find these. But that's why you tune into Crypto Paradise. That's why hopefully you've gotten your 200,000 surf tokens. You're in the DAO so that you can take advantage of the due diligence that we do, the connections that we have within the industry, and you guys can find about these things early, $100,000 market cap on subs. It's not, 600,000 where it's at now. Great, still a good upside, no doubt about it. I'd rather have found about 100. So, this is what we were saying on a live stream or two ago. Align yourself with people who know what they're doing. They have the battle scars. They've been through the shit before, and they're trying to help out the next sort of generation of crypto traders and investors. And that's what we're all about here at Crypto Paradise.
That's one of the reasons that we like these guys so much. It's like their ethos and ours lines up so well together. It's all about, the community, not just out here, shilling and stuff, but actually getting there, helping each other learn things, right? Like of course, bringing alpha, but the idea of getting out of the 9 to 5, that was our saying way back when we first started this was, escape the 9 to 5. We've been saying it for over a year. These guys come along, fuck 9 to 5, right? Same thing. It just resonated really well with us. And not only that, but the guys that founded this project, they're not just talking the talk. Like they actually walk the walk. Like these guys have escaped the 9 to 5. These guys have all become successful and now are, dictating their own journey. And that's what they want to help their community do. And, that's why they just resonated so well with us is, very, very similar goals and mottos with what they're trying to accomplish.
Give it up for fuck 9 to 5. Give it up for fuck 9 to 5. So any other stories you want to cover today? Any other topics you got on deck?
Real quick, I did a reply on my Twitter. So as you guys know, I'm into Pokemon, and I don't like the new design of a Pokemon called Dragonite. And this kind of goes with the fuck 9 to 5 mantra. This guy replies, and this is why you're still early on crypto, folks, and why the 9 to 5ers just don't understand yet. He replied to me and said, "You're arguing with the crypto guy. They are the bottom of society, laugh my ass off. He let his parents down, so he's here with a blue check trying to get rich off of X, but he's going to die of failure. Crypto is a failure." That is, when you get outside of crypto Twitter, you guys probably don't feel this. I'm in Pokemon Twitter. I'm not liking a new character. That's the reply I get. People click on your profile, see that we're all in crypto, and think that I live in my parents' basement, gonna die of failure, and that crypto's a scam. That's how early you still are to crypto. And what's funny, for Capone collects, while you still live your life in your cubicle, I'm sitting here doing a live show saying fuck the 9 to 5, living on the crypto beach next month in August down at the Tulum Paradise Pad, and you're sitting here replying with this kind of tweet to people who are in crypto. So you're still early. Buy the dip, folks. And Capone will be crying here for the next couple of years.
I can't get over the it's a Pokemon nerd talking shit. Like, shut the fuck up.
Talking shit on the crypto nerd who's also a Pokemon nerd. But yeah, no, it's
Bro,
actually
I know, but like,
this brings up a good point, right? Because I've sensed this too. And here's the reality of it. When you knew about crypto, because that guy knew about crypto, that guy knew about Bitcoin. We've all known about Bitcoin since fucking 2016, 2017, when it exploded into the popular culture. We all knew about it, right? Maybe what, 5%, 10% of people actually bought in? The rest sat there saying it's a scam, it's rat poison squared, it's dog shit, it's whatever, everyone who's in it is dumb, blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, everyone who did buy in, we're all doing pretty damn well, I would say, right? And the people who didn't buy in are sitting there and they have to then justify themselves mentally why they didn't get in. Well, it's still a scam. They're still going to get wrecked. Bitcoin $120,000. It's still a scam. It's still, Wall Street's buying billions and trillions of it. It's still a scam. Because mentally, they call this cognitive dissonance, right? It's very hard for the mind to accept that it was wrong and made a bad decision. So you'll do mental gymnastics to prove to yourself, no, I was right. Instead of just saying, I was wrong on Bitcoin. I was wrong. It turns out it wasn't a scam. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was rat poison square, but I was wrong. It takes a big person, a big man to admit that they were wrong. And I bet you that guy, he knew about crypto. He watched people like you get rich, and now he's sitting there, maybe still in his mom's basement, and he has no choice but to talk shit about it. It's a little psychology 101 for you guys today.
Gotta have them haters, man. If you ain't got haters, you ain't doing something right.
If he would have bought Bitcoin, he would have the base set unlimited Charizard that everybody wants, but instead he doesn't. But I do, right here. I got it. Capone collects. I got the Charizard you wish you had, buddy. Should have bought Bitcoin.
Should have bought Bitcoin. But look, things change, things evolve. There was a time when even myself thought, okay, this industry might not last. There's a lot of scams. It's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of this and that. Bitcoin itself, kind of a questionable, value proposition in early days, at least in my mind. I was skeptical, right? I bought in anyway, but I was a little skeptical. But now at this point, at this stage in its life cycle, 15 years in, right? $120,000 price. The market cap is the 5th biggest market cap of any asset in the world. Wall Street's bought in, on and on. You kind of have to accept that it's a real thing. You have to accept that it's a real thing. You can't fight reality any longer. And the sooner you accept reality, the sooner you can accept, okay, how do I take advantage of this? I was wrong initially. Things have changed. I have new information. Now, how do I take advantage? The problem is a lot of people, their minds won't let them admit that they were wrong, and they won't let new information change their viewpoint. And that's, frankly, that's a dangerous mindset. If you're stuck in this.
Peter Schiff.
If you're stuck in this, how can you grow? How can you improve? How can you improve your life if new information coming in never changes who you are?
Yeah, Peter Schiff knew about Bitcoin when it was like $1 and, talk shit on it, continues to talk shit on it. Now he talks shit on it, but says, hey, I got a donation address if anybody wants to donate Bitcoin. So pretty funny.
Apparently now he's talking shit about ETH. I think he may have finally accepted that Bitcoin's a real thing, and he would have massively outperformed if he had just held Bitcoin instead of gold this whole time. And now he's talking shit on ETH. So, look, there's to Nate's point, there's always going to be the haters. It's a part of, if you're popular and you have attention, you're going to have the haters. I've always been the kind of person that, hey, this is getting attention. This is getting mind share. This is getting, in the case of financial markets, this is going up in value. There must be something to it. I almost view it as, I was a little skeptical when I saw Tesla stock as high as it's been historically. I know recently it's done not quite as well, but then you dig into it and you start to understand, okay, look, Tesla's more than just a car company. They're building robo-taxis now. They're doing all these other things. Like Elon Musk is the genius of our lifetime. And you start to say, you know what? I know that they're not selling as many cars as GM, but their market cap, I think, is mostly justified. So you got to dig in. You got to be curious. You got to learn to accept your initial takes may be wrong. And I don't know. I think that guy, it's just sad people spend their time attacking each other on social media. And this guy's going to be, come on, dude. What a waste of time. I've never once attacked someone on social media. Never once.
All publicity is
hundreds of times.
all publicity is good publicity, but
on that. look, it's a mind suck. It's a drain. You're gonna feel terrible after doing it. Don't be a troll. Don't be an asshole. Focus on how to improve your own life instead of hating on others.
All publicity is good publicity, but whenever I venture out of crypto Twitter, and I do it quite often with Pokemon cards, trading cards, vending machines. Like I do other things outside of crypto, and whenever you venture into that and you disagree with somebody or you push back or you don't like a new design or whatever, the first thing they always say is talk shit on crypto, and it's just funny because that's how you know you were so early. Because I don't click on these guys' profile and see what they do, but I guarantee they're blue collar workers or they're 9 to 5 workers, or they're not living the same lifestyle that crypto has allowed many other people to do. And now that institutions are coming in a big play, it's crazy to still think like that, which just means you are not financially literate at all. You are not aware of what's going on with Bitcoin, what's now going on with Ethereum, and looking to the future of technology, and you are just missing the entire boat. If that is your target to make fun of somebody, is they're a crypto guy, well, I'll take that any day because crypto is the best performing asset in the history of mankind.
Yeah, I think about the folks in my town. They're not quite of assholes about it. They're just a little bit, I think, like think I'm crazy. Like, who's this crypto guy? What is it like? And they have normal jobs and stuff, like mostly like more white collar stuff. But yeah, I think people are just look. It's confusing. It's scary. The volatility. It's viewed as high risk. It's new technology. You don't understand it. And so, for those who are just not curious or they're not looking to take any kind of risks, the easiest thing to do mentally is to say it's a scam. You know, that's why I'm not going to look at it. Instead of admitting to yourself, you know what? I'm just not that curious of a person. I just don't really want to improve my life in this way, in the financial markets. I'm too lazy. No one wants to admit that to themselves, right? So it must be that external thing that's the problem. It must be because crypto's a scam. It's not because I'm lazy and I'm not a curious person and I don't really care about improving my life or my family's life, because those are tough things to admit, right? No one wants to admit their flaws. So look, we are absolutely early. We are absolutely early. What? How many percents of people own crypto around the world? I think it might be less than 5%, right? I think there's less than 1 million people that own a single Bitcoin. I think I read that the other day. What's it? It's something like 900,000 people. Like if you exclude all the exchange addresses and the institutions, so on, just talking about individuals, right? Owning a single Bitcoin, and my guess is in 10 years, owning a single Bitcoin will be your ticket out. That is your ticket to financial freedom right there, because that shit's going to be worth $1 million in 10 years. I have no doubt about it in my mind. So we are absolutely early. And even if you're that person that's watching the show right now, well, I don't have 120,000 to buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I know. I'm sure you don't. But there are plenty of opportunities in this crypto space for you to get to that point, right? There's the calls that we make. There's other great influencers, great communities. There's plenty of opportunities in this market to turn $5,000 into $100,000. You can absolutely do that in this bull run. You got to stay locked in. You got to be paying attention, right? You got to be following the right people. But this is the fastest way to financial freedom. There is no faster way to financial freedom than crypto, as long as you can avoid the scams and the pitfalls and the rug pulls.
Nate, we were talking about Peter Schiff there. I just saw your tweet 3 minutes ago. That's kind of a funny tweet. I don't know if you want to show that. Peter Schiff isn't going to like that one.
Let me see here if I can pull it up real quick.
I haven't heard of this one yet. I have heard that they're starting to figure out ways to turn iron and other metals into gold, which is kind of crazy considering gold is worth $20 but
that was a story about they're using the particle collider to actually generate gold particles on an atomic level, which scared up. I saw some people talking, gold's gonna be worthless now because they can make gold. It's like, do you know how expensive it is to use a fucking particle collider to make an atom of gold? It's not gonna start flooding onto the market. No. They made literally an atom of gold, or atoms of gold. Nothing insignificant, and it costs, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars to get that research to that point. Sure, maybe someday, who knows how far in the future.
They should be more worried about all the gold that's being mined from the mines on a daily basis. You can literally go to a river in Africa and pan and get gold. I see people do it on TikTok all the time.
people finding
For real?
people with their a kid with a metal detector on a beach, it has more of an impact on the gold price finding someone's ring that they lost than the particle collider is going to have, any sort of meaningful impact on the, worldwide supply of gold anytime in the near future. So like that was kind of a panic that I saw a few months back, but it's really, in my opinion, a pretty much a non-starter. But this one could be something here. Scientists have discovered a bacteria that poops pure gold. By eating toxic metals like copper and cadmium, it transforms them into gold nanoparticles. And I posted this, an actual gold bug. Peter Schiff down bad right now. Now for this, I mean, who knows? Are these bacteria that we can grow on a mass scale? And can we, what kind of metals can they eat to turn into gold? Is it feasible to take those metals and feed it to this bacteria? And who knows? I'm sure they're researching that right now. This is a story I saw on Facebook like an hour ago. And reminded me of it. We were talking about Peter Schiff a minute ago. So I don't think we need to start panicking and selling gold.
But look, gold's not going anywhere. I mean, I don't invest in gold, but I also don't go around on social media talking shit about it. Like, it's going to zero. It's rat poison squared. Like, no, bro. If you like gold, do you, man? If you like shiny shit, I don't care for shiny shit. I don't give a fuck about that. So I don't buy gold, and I also think the market cap's too high. So the multiples that you can get on it are too minuscule. For you to do a 2x on gold, it's going to have to double the price. It's going to have to be the most valuable asset in the world times 2. It'll be 44 trillion, which it'll probably get there in 20 years. But Bitcoin's going to get your money. It's going to increase your money faster, right? And what's the what are we? If you're an investor, what are you here to do? You're here to grow your money. And why are you here to grow your money? Well, presumably to change your life circumstances. Because let's just be real, if you grow your money and all it is big numbers on a screen, but you're still working at that shitty job, you're still living in your shitty apartment, you're still depressed about this or that, you're driving around in a beat up old car that you hate, well, then it's just numbers on a screen. So turn that money into something you care about, make your life better. And that's why, when I did pretty well the last bull run, we went out and got the Paradise pad down in Tulum. Not the best investment, by the way. Real estate, guys, we should do a whole segment on real estate and why it's a dog shit investment. It's not a good investment compared to Bitcoin. If I had put that money into Bitcoin, I probably could have bought a villa instead of the little condo. But it doesn't matter. The point is this. I wanted to buy some that I felt like would improve my life, would make me happy, my family happy. That's what it's all about. So, look, gold, I'm sure it's great. It's shiny. It has some sort of utility, I guess. People like it. Historically, it's been a great investment. All these things are true, and I don't hate it. I just don't invest in it myself because, for me, investing is about taking your existing money, growing it much bigger to then improve your life in a meaningful way. So, to all the gold bugs out there, we're not hating on it. At least I'm not. I mean, do you? And maybe it's a good hedge. Maybe it's good to diversify. I'm not against diversification. Maybe I should have a little gold. I don't, but whatever. But to me, it's why? Peter Schiff, bro. Think of all the time and energy you wasted. Now, granted, it did get him a bit famous. Hating on Bitcoin got him really famous. But imagine if he put that energy into something positive instead of just hating on something. I don't know. That's just how I view it. So, to the gold bugs out there, we love you. Bitcoin's better.
Speaking of, set it and forget it, walk away and make money, passive income kind of stuff. We've got round 2 of the Frontier Fund coming up here soon. Got some stats for you on the Frontier round 1 that wrapped up recently here. So I don't have the image I can share. I don't know where it's posted other than on Telegram, but Frontier Fund performing highlights. Starting capital $280K, finish capital $546,765.06. Total profit of $267,000. Now here's some of the really impressive stuff. Not only was it a 95.27% return, a 1.55% daily return, they did over 5,200 trades with a amazing, insane 92.3% success rate. They had only one decent loss, and that was kind of at the end of month 1. If it wouldn't have been for that, it would have been.
That was around the Iran-Israel war.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, it was really turmoil, shaky markets right there. That's going to happen. Took a bigger hit than any of us would have liked, but that would have put us at like a 200% gain had it not been for that one minor setback there. But at the end of the day, 95%, no one's complaining about that. Coming up, we've got round 2. If you want to get be a part of round 2, here's some statistics of what you could potentially look forward to with the Frontier Fund here. So if they just started with the capital they have now, the 546,000, and they continued with their average rate of 1.55% over the next 60 days, that $146,000 would turn into almost $1.5 million. Now, if they can hit their target daily yield goal of 2%, that $546,000 in the next 60 days, when round 2 of the Frontier Fund, will be $2,944,000. And if they can hit their stretch goal, which I believe is 2.55% daily, that 546,000 will more than 10x to $5.5 million. So pretty awesome opportunity. This is a SurfDAO exclusive opportunity. They are resetting right now, getting ready to launch round 2 of the Frontier Fund, the Trailblaze round. And you're going to need 400,000 surf to get into that. You're going to be holding that. That'll get you in the DAO. 200K gets you in the DAO, but 400K is what you're going to need to get into this next round. You only have probably, 2 weeks maximum before this is closed off for new entries.
They're moving quick, man. They're moving quick. But the forums are going to go out. You got to get in quick. And to me, the Frontier Fund, it's all about, having that other part of your portfolio that's kind of slowly making consistent gains, and you're just compounding that month after month. What Nate just described was kind of the total capital they work with. That obviously, breaks down into maybe 10 or 15 individual contributors. People invest like 10K, 50, 20K, 50K, whatever. And so, if you're able to kind of, at the end of the day, what did it amount to for the individual investor? It was about 30% returns per month, which is enormous. I mean, that's insane, right? So over 2 months, I think we did like 60% gains, and that includes the fees, right? That's net
It's after fees. It's after fees.
30% was after fees. Excuse me. So that's like for you, your own like profits or whatever was 30% returns a month. You didn't do anything. You didn't lift a damn finger. They did all the trades. They did the thousands of trades on your behalf. And you sat there and you basically did 60% returns on your money in 2 months. Now, is it going to, replicate that? And are we going to see that month after month? There's no guarantee of that. Now, could it also do better? Actually, I think it could do better, because my guess is they're learning. They've been doing this a while, but as you trade, you get better and better. So they're learning. Market's probably going to continue to go on a tear. You only have to, if you're doing leverage trading, you got to be in a couple longs that time it right, and they would have exceeded. They would have blown past that 2% daily yield if they had timed a few ETH longs properly. But my guess is, does continue to do well, even assuming 30% a month. That's, go on ChatGPT and you type in, if I invest $10,000 and it compounds 30, and I get 30% returns a month, what will I have after 1 year? You're going to have like 500 grand. I don't know what the number is, but the numbers become enormous because of compounding interest and compounding gains. So the way I view Frontier Fund is, it's that part of your portfolio that's passive, that's chilling, it's not doing a 10x overnight. It's not your meme portfolio. It's your more like, conservative and just hands-off part that's growing slowly over time. And my guess is, frankly, after a year, if they keep this up and they keep the returns up going, people will probably have outperformed their meme portfolio, with their Frontier Fund portfolio. So it's a good way to diversify. It's long term. It's compounding gains. It's not without risk, but it's definitely worth it if you have a little chunk of change you're looking to do some passive income growth with.
Made a lot of Pokemon cards.
That's right. To sum it up, the short-winded thing here is go buy 400,000 surf and you get to participate in Frontier Funds too. And even if you want to put $10,000 into the Frontier Funds, Ian's talking about compounding it, Nate's talking about compounding it. How about just an extra income source? If you put $10,000 into it every single month, based on their previous historical returns, this phase was 2 months, and before that they had 2 months as well, you would have $2,500 a month in income. even if you don't want to compound any of it. You put 10,000 in, they get you the returns, you get your $2,500 a month in monthly income, and you cash it out to your bank account. And you're like, hey, honey, I just got a $30,000 a year raise at my job. That's really as simple as it is. That's what the math is, even if you don't do any compounding. So get over there, 400,000 surf or more, and then get 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, whatever you want. Put it into Frontier Fund at round 2. Great for your portfolio. We have Chris here saying nice shades. I asked him which ones he liked best. He didn't reply. And then we got KingBoy07 over here begging me to look at the Wojak chart. So we'll look at that real quick as well. These
are Maui Gyms. I don't think any of you guys are fucking with the Maui Gyms, but these are definitely the nicest sunglasses on set today.
These are $4 fake Lacoste. However you pronounce that.
Yeah, these are Costas. These are fishing glasses.
Oh, coasters are nice too, actually. Coasters are good shades.
This is so I can see through the water.
Shades are something I will spend my money on. I'm like the cheapest son of a bitch out there. I hate spending money, but a nice car, I think that actually improves your life, because I'm in my car like a lot, and like driving around in a shitty one is annoying. You drive around a nice one, it's much better. The sound is better, interior, all that stuff. It makes a difference. Second thing is shades. Dude, these shades, they're unbelievable. Like, when I take them off, my eyes hurt in the sun, and it's bad. And if I wear subpar shades. So Nate, once we make our millions this cycle, we're gonna buy you a pair of Maui Gyms. They're only a couple $100.
I buy cheap sunglasses because I lose them once a week.
Okay, well, I actually did too, and then I told them that at the sunglasses hut, and they were like, buy this like thing that goes and you just hang it around your neck, right? Instead of putting it on here, I just hang them. But anyway, so for those, maybe Maui Gym should sponsor the channel after that shill.
That'd be nice. And let's look at Wojak. Wojak is a meme coin that's been around here for a while. You can see this massive bottoming out, and every time it does this run-up consolidation, pretty on point over and over. When did it peak? It did peak at the same time Bitcoin and Ethereum did, so it's still relevant when it comes to cycles. And right now, it looks like it's building on this big run-up and this consolidation. If history repeats itself, it's going to look something like this. You're going to get some green candles. You're going to put a high above this 68.57. And then you're probably going to come into some turmoil. It does seem like whether it's the team, market makers, whatever. Maybe that's how they're funding the project. After this runs up here to above this 7,000 level, there is going to be another correction. But that correction should be a higher low than this. So there's the quick Wojak rundown for KingBoy07. I don't own any, but it is a decent looking TA chart. But I would expect to take some profits.
I've seen Wojak
take some profits on the next big run up.
I mean, my guess is it has a pretty good community, and it's got a good track record. I just don't really get like buying into memes that are sitting at like $30 million market cap, because I mean, I guess what's your goal, right? Are you trying to do a 10x? Because it's kind of hard to do a 10x when something's already at 30 million. Now, I'm not saying go on pump.fund and buy like the ones that are $5,000 market cap. They're going to rug in a second. But if you can find those ones in the sweet spot of like 500,000 to like, I don't know, 5 million, I think those are much more likely to do it 10 times than something that's already at 30, 50. Or there was a guy on the show yesterday talking about SPX 6900, which is in the billions. Like, it's hard to get. You need a lot of capital to come in then to move the market cap by 2 times. And there's already people sitting there. They got a lot of Wojak. They're probably looking to dump. So I don't know. I just think, to me, I like low cap memes a little bit better. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I don't. Maybe it doesn't make any sense. Love to hear from you guys, who are watching, in the audience. But to me, I'm not saying Wojak's bad. But if you're looking for the 10x, I just think you got to find a little bit lower caps.
Yeah, shout out to everybody watching over on YouTube and Twitter. The comments that come through on Riverside, it looks like it's coming from YouTube. And I reply here on Riverside, but it doesn't actually go to YouTube. So I wonder if my replies are going to Twitter. So I went over to YouTube and replied to you guys over there. So shout out to you guys. This is our second show being able to get live over on YouTube. So it's nice to get some live viewers and some comments going over there. Although Twitter seems to be the hub for more viewership, it lacks on the ease of comment use. You have to actually double click into the live show in order to be in the comment chat. So YouTube's still the king when it comes to live shows currently, as far as UI UX for the viewer.
Yeah, we're about to. I think we're going to do some fun stuff with some giveaways for folks who are watching the live show. Like, we want to give back to you guys. We appreciate you. remember, like the more we grow this channel, first of all, the more people can win, the more people can benefit from, all the information we're providing, the alpha, the analysis, all that good stuff. But the other thing too is you're a surf holder. It's a bigger microphone for us. It's more buyers of the token. It's more volume being generated, more tokens being burned, more liquidity being added. That's the wonderful thing about surf. So we definitely want more followers, more subscribers. So like, share, subscribe, smash all the buttons. And remember, we are going to announce pretty soon here some cool incentives to get you guys more involved with the live show because creates a win-win.
Absolutely.
Looks like a lot of green today on that chart. Did the market just turn green or something while we're on the stream or what?
I got to wrap things up here, gents, if you guys are going to keep carrying on. But shout out to everybody that tuned in. Just check out the mini app. We're about to do another raffle giveaway here. We have the Trebly competition just wrapped up today. So within the end of the week, we should have the votes for the $200 in Trebly, and we'll know who has won via the mini app for the $200 in Surf. So check that out as well.
Making it rain, giving away all the monies. Man, we're having fun over here at Crypto Paradise. So remember to subscribe, tell your friends. Oh, one other thing I should mention real quick. I want to give a shout out to one of our down members named Jordan. He's the man, great guy, and he just took advantage of the bonus sort of referral system that we just announced, whereby if you are an existing DAO member, you hold 200,000 Surf coins, you're in the DAO, you're in that private Telegram group. If you then refer Surf and Crypto Paradise to another investor, and that person buys 200,000 or more Surf, you as the referrer are getting a 10% bonus. And so Jordan, good work, buddy. I don't know how you did it, but I guess you found out. He's like, oh shit, I gotta get to work, and he immediately found a dude. I guess it was a friend or something, and the guy bought 400,000 Surf yesterday. And Jordan was sent his 40,000 Surf bonus, which I know at these levels it's $400 or something like that. But, we run it up to 10 mil. That's $4,000 up to 100 mil. I know that's our target. That's Hitman's target here. That's a really nice chunk of change. That's your new car that I've been talking about. So all for a referral you did, which helped your bag. It helped that person who joined. It helped the whole community. So win, win, win. Shout out to Jordan taking advantage of that 10% bonus that we're giving away anytime you refer someone into the Surf DAO.
Yeah, not only do you get the referral bonus, you also get somebody, a friend or a community member into a project that I think is going to do very well on a very undervalued chain. So their investment's going to do well. They earn reflections simply by holding the token. Plus those buys produce the momentum. It burns tokens. It adds to LPs. It pays you reflections. It goes to DAO funds. So it's really good to see that kind of activity because the burn continues to tick up. We're near 2.2% of the total supply burnt, and we haven't even started burning and buying the DeFi yield, which we told you we were going to do. The dashboard is going to be coming out, and we're going to be starting to buy and burn on a weekly basis based on yield, based on company revenue, which is just going to fuel scarcity and help support prices and ultimately put in higher floors over and over again until I said if we don't hit at least $100 million market cap this cycle, that is a failure as I see it for Surf, because that means Pulse Chain didn't do well, that means PTGC didn't do well, and that means Surf Token did not do well.
Well, we're not going to let that happen, folks. So going to keep grinding out each and every day. We're back with live streams tomorrow. We'll probably be doing a spaces sometime in the afternoon tomorrow as well. But got a lot of great stuff going on between the mini app, the alpha calls, the referrals. More information, by the way, on the retreat is dropping soon as well. We're really trying to bring value to people's lives. And I've been on this soapbox talking about how at some point we got to get out from behind the screen. You can't just be an avatar on Twitter all day. You have to be a real human being. You have to interact with people. And the only problem is that when you're going to interact with people in your town or your city, they all hate crypto. So come with us. Come down to Tulum. Hang out with us at the villa. We'll have a great time. We'll talk crypto. We'll have a great time for 3 or 4 days there. That is what it's all about, getting out from behind that screen. Of course, after you made the gains, but get out from behind the screen and enjoy life. That's what the Crypto Paradise vibe is all about.
Yeah, before we wrap this one up, yesterday I was telling you Bitmine, BMNR, sub $40 is starting to look juicy. Now here's price, still at the same level as yesterday, a little bit above $40. It's up like 26 cents or something today. But they just announced that they bought over 200,000 ETH. I mean, they're their PNAV, like their market cap to NAV based on their Ethereum holdings now is super juicy, and they have support from ARK and Kathy Woods and Thomas Lee. Like I'm an SBET guy. That's where my portfolio is. But even at these levels, I picked up a couple grand worth of BMNR sub $40 yesterday because I do what I preach. I don't just talk to talk. But now they've added 200,000 ETH overnight, and it's only up 2%. I mean, this is starting to look like a great value play. That's not to say ETH can't go red and this thing's going to follow, but I just don't see us getting back down to these levels. And really, I think, anywhere between $34 to $40 with how much ETH they're buying, what their targets are. And I believe ETH is going to $5, $10, $15, $20,000 over time. This is a great stock opportunity. And with the addition, the market is not reacting to how they just added like 30% more ETH to their books.
I mean, this BitMine and the SBT, these are great opportunities for people who miss strategy, right? And a lot of us miss strategy. A lot of us faded strategy. Probably thought it was, it's too leveraged. It's all fugazi. Michael Saylor's, he's crazy. For whatever reason, you missed out on it. And now here's this opportunity staring in your face. Thomas Lee, I mean, that dude is a complete Chad. He's out there on CNBC basically shilling ETH and his new company every single day. And if you listen to him talk, you're like, wow, this guy's really super smart. So I think, yeah, if you're into stocks, you faded strategy, here's another opportunity staring you in the face that I think could be the next strategy, but for Ethereum.
Yep. And if you're a believer in Bitcoin, this is the next target for Ethereum. It's something like a 20% run of ETH to BTC. Like as we went over this earlier, if BTC goes up 10%, Ethereum is going to go up 30% to meet these kind of goals. So what would that do to ETH price? It's going to be a lot higher. Outperformance is coming, and that means all coins are sending as well. So this is the dip that everybody is screaming alt season is over. Look where we came from, and this is the dip that has you panicking. Those people are not going to make it.
Are not going to make it. They never do. But that's why you're here, rolling with us, serving with us. So thank you guys. Appreciate your time today. We'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. Got a lot of great stuff coming up, so stay tuned. Join the Telegram. Join the X. Follow us, retweet, subscribe, all the great stuff. And until then, we'll see you on the beach.